Hello and welcome to another video. So I've been doing this series on these 9 ways of looking, and today I want to talk about all is stillness. So this way of seeing where we start to recognize that all is stillness. Now, I use the word stillness to refer to something that it's actually beyond any kind of description, and people will use other terms. I just tend to find that word stillness to be the most useful. It's the one that kind of makes more sense to me. And people will often use other terms such as unborn awareness, or open awareness, or pure consciousness. So there's kind of endless terms, or silence. There's kind of endless words we could use to describe it. But the one that made the most sense to me is stillness. So just keep in mind that when I'm talking about stillness, I'm kind of talking about stillness with a capital S, and it's beyond, this normal idea of stillness as in just the absence of movement. In fact, the stillness I'm talking about is very, very much there within movement. In fact, it's in everything. It all, we can have this recognition eventually that actually that's all there is that stillness. Now, this stillness is what I believe we're actually looking for, is to recognize this. For a period in my life, in my late teens and early 20s, there was a period in my life where I was quite suicidal. And during that time, what I was looking for was this idea of escape into a kind of nothingness. I just wanted it kind of all to stop. And what I was really looking for was this. But this doesn't require that we physically die. When we first start to encounter this stillness, or at least when I did, there's a kind of a temptation. So what happens is that we often sort of come across this stillness, say in meditation, when we first start to catch a glimpse of it. And it can lead to this kind of wrong idea, and I had this wrong idea for a long time, that we somehow have to escape into that stillness, almost as if we're transcending life to escape into stillness. And it took me a long time to realize that that's completely wrong, in that that's not what this is about at all. That's not what peace is about at all. That in fact, this all is stillness. And it's really recognizing that this is all stillness. That gives us the peace we're looking for. It's not about escaping. And the final goal is not to kind of, be transported into this complete stillness. That's not it. The stillness is this. This is the stillness. This is how the stillness is appearing right now. And it's just recognizing that. Now, when I'm talking about this with people, I'll often, describe how it's like life is like that stillness moving. But the strange thing is that even that's not true. That when we, investigate our experience, there is just stillness. There is not, there's absolutely no quality there. There's nothing to move. And that's so saying that it's moving is just a way of poetically describing what's happened, because actually 2 things are absolutely true at the same time, in that there's absolutely nothing there and this is all there. And both of those things are true, and they're not 2 separate things. That nothing that's there is this. It's not a different thing. It's not. There's not 2 things. There's only that one thing happening. And it's that recognition of that then everything becomes peace. And what starts to happen is we start to live life from that say before our life has been caught up in this swirl of thinking, and it's like that swirl of thinking becomes kind of like the center of our being. And what happens is this transfers to stillness being the center of our being. And this becomes incredibly dreamlike, is the way I like to describe it. Now, with this dreamlike, it's got absolutely nothing to do with becoming disengaged from life, or somehow, what's that word? Not disengaged, become disassociated. This has got absolutely nothing to do with disassociation. That we're fully here, fully feeling everything, but everything that is here is just still. It's all just still. Now, I get it. I get how difficult this can be to grasp intellectually, but we're absolutely not meant to grasp it intellectually. It's not an intellectual thing. In fact, any way we could grasp it intellectually is only going to be severely limiting it. That we get to know this by encountering it and recognizing it. And that's where, stuff like meditation can be useful. But really what all the meditation is doing is it's bringing us into a state where we're no longer resisting what's here. That when we're no longer resisting what's here, that stillness is here waiting for us. And it's just a matter then of recognizing it. And when we recognize it, over time we realize that that's what we were looking for all along. And, this thing is absolutely astounding. It's far better than anything. We may all have these ideas, say, our kind of, I don't know, spiritual convictions or convictions or whatever you want to call them. But this is far greater than any of that, far more incredible. And this whole experience of life becomes this incredible thing, this incredibly wonderful thing that we just absolutely cannot pin down. That this in no way diminishes our life, in no way diminishes the world, quite the opposite. It starts to open us to how incredible this always is. And that it's always still, it's always just peace. There's only ever peace here. That's what we discover. So thanks very much for watching again, and I'll see you next time.